So again, I don't know how many times I've said this, that child needs, constant auditory access of speech all waking hours, even from a very early age. So the technology has to be appropriately fit and maintained, and access needs to be verified, right? So you just have to make sure that everything's working before you really begin your therapy, because you don't want to waste too much time. And you should provide all sorts of linguistic input from, meaningful everyday interactions with different caregivers and different therapists throughout the child's early development. Now, if the child is late to wearing hearing aids, or there are additional disabilities, or the family doesn't use that mainstream language that you're working on, there could be some additional challenges. Remember, the time before the hearing aid is lost listening time. So a child that's not identified until 18 months, their spoken language is out of synchrony, though their nonverbal cognitive abilities might be at 18 months. So to think about this, to catch up, a child has to learn at a faster than normal rate. So a normally hearing 18-month-old will proceed to do 3.5 years of learning before age 5. But a newly aided 18-month-old has to do 5 years of learning in those 3.5 years to catch up with their normal hearing peers. So you understand, these kids have, they do have, it just takes a lot of work. You have a lot to overcome in a shorter amount of time to get the child caught up. So it takes a consistent effort from everyone who's involved. And children can learn at amazing rates once the technology is all set and ready to go. And don't forget about those mild children with mild hearing loss or unilateral hearing loss. They're also going to need some help and some extra language. So when you're working with young kids, the challenge could be keeping those hearing aids and cochlear implants on them. And it's the parent's job, because they're with the child the most, to make sure that the child is always wearing their hearing aids or cochlear implants. So from the moment the child wakes up in the morning until the child's lights out at night, those hearing aids or cochlear implants need to be on. And that falls on the parents to do that. So these tiny babies could have, and the large adult fingers could be a little bit awkward. So as an audiologist or speech pathologist, you show the parents how to do it, you practice with them, and you make sure that the ear mold is firmly sealed in the ear. After practice, it becomes, very second nature, for the parents to do. If the hearing aids fall off while the parent's feeding it, you reposition the baby. When the children have the dexterity to take the devices off themselves, the parents have to cheerfully keep putting them back on time after time, or distracting the child and putting those back on. So you don't want to call attention to the fact that they are taking the hearing aids out or throwing them or whatnot. It's got to just sort of be fun, oh, your hearing aids are out, let's put those back on, no big deal, 1, 2, 3. You don't want to get a reaction from the child and, have them constantly pulling them off their heads and looking for your reaction. So it just has to become part of the daily routine that you get up, the hearing aids are on, you get up, your cochlear implants are on, and that's that. There are extra things to help parents with alligator clips. So think of it like when a child has a pacifier and they have an alligator clip on so it doesn't always fall on the floor. Same thing with hearing aids. They have alligator clips to make sure that if the hearing aids fall off, they're not going to, fall right on the floor. There's a whole website of different gear for yours that you could wear or, help your parents find to help keep those hearing aids and cochlear implants on.